right, it's your Geordie Journos, and that was an Eddie Howe press conference. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, I want to address this wall first, actually,
Go on.
because we just made a joke there, so I'm sure everyone's seen this, the Sean Dyche meme of utter woke nonsense. He's up against the wall like that.
It looks like
I feel like Sean Dyche today. That's how I feel like.
You need to be careful, I can hear you inside there. Shout through the wall.
Yeah, but that wasn't Sean Dyche in there, it was Eddie Howe, as you
Yeah, it was.
correctly mentioned there. So yes, previewing.
Give us a summary, because there might have been people out there who watch us that haven't watched it. I assume you probably have, or you've definitely...
We're quick while our videos on a Friday now.
Yeah, so give people a little bit of a summary of the main talking points from Eddie Howe today.
Yeah, what we always start with injury news, really, me and Dom. So Lewis Hall could be back involved on Sunday. Hasn't trained yet, but should train today. Will be on the bench if he's involved. Let's be honest.
Sounded like it, didn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it would be good to have him. Good to have him back. Obviously, an option at left back where they currently have nobody. With obviously Tino, who's out until after the international break. Asked about Johan Wissa again, quite similar to the update he gave me in midweek. There isn't a return date for Johan Wissa. He hasn't trained yet. He said that isn't down to injury, but more sort of fitness levels. But I think looking at it, when Eddie Howe gave the extra 2 weeks, he extended it by 2 weeks. His injury time frame. We were looking at thinking, can he be back for the West Ham game? Eddie Howe said definitely not West Ham. And then looking ahead to next week against Bilbao, and who's the Saturday game? Brentford
Sunday.
It doesn't sound like he'll be involved. And I think again our suspicions are sort of confirmed in that respect, where it probably makes sense to hold him until after the international break.
It was always the common sense decision.
Yeah.
It was never going to be. I'd be shocked if it was ever going to be before. You've got potential implications with call-ups and things like that as a possible complication. I just didn't ever see it. I don't think, having taken the time this far, they ain't going to rush him back. And the way Eddie Howe spoke a couple of weeks ago, where he was talking about, taking his time with a 6-week programme, and I think it was last week he talked about that.
Yeah, it was Dom's question.
I don't think we're going to see him flying into games or starting any games anytime soon.
No.
So, look, it is what it is. It's just an unfortunate situation, and what you have to place faith in is that he's going to come back and have an impact when he's fit and available to do so. And as frustrating as it is, it's all been very... I suppose it's not luck. I was going to say it's going to be lucky, but maybe has. Probably judgment that the big centre forwards come in and taking the heat off it.
I was thinking about that when I was talking to you, and like how well has he done? Yeah. Not just in terms of hitting the ground running and scoring goals, but actually staying fit. Yeah. I think it'll be his 10th consecutive start. If he will start at West Ham, so it'll be his 10th consecutive start. That's proper durability, that, and we all feared the worst when Johan Wissa had picked up that injury, because it was like, not Baltimore coming from a new league. Can he hit the ground running? Can he play games? And he's probably surpassed our expectations in many ways. So no, fair play to him. He's sort of, Johan Wissa's situation felt like disastrous at the time, whereas Baltimore's form has stopped people from talking about him. Or less people from talking about Johan Wissa.
If he hadn't scored goals, everyone would be panicking about the Wissa situation, whereas just taking the heat off and allowed that to sort of develop. And the longer this goes on, where Baltimore's chipping in with bits and bobs and goals and looking decent and being able to get 70 minutes every week, and Asula drop in with a 20 here and there, I don't think there's going to be a pressure for Wissa to absolutely be chucked straight in. So it's worked out. Although it's a really bad situation, it's been managed quite well, like I say, possibly by luck rather than judgment, but some would argue it was good judgment signing a good centre forward anyway. So I think I'd be surprised if he's before the international break. It never made any sense from the aspect as well, you would throw him in for his debut against his old
former club, who despise him.
It just didn't make any sense.
No, I know.
Like, I'd never seen it from the minute it was mentioned. He could be back for. I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Why the hell would that happen? I mean, it might still happen. I might be totally off guard.
Very doubtful about that, though. I share your doubt.
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
Yeah, Will Asula was mentioned, and there's no fresh injury concerns, but Eddie Howe did make a point and mention Will Asula's ankle injury, so he's still nursing that. But again, I think we'll probably be involved, and as you mentioned before, sort of if Nick Baltimore has run his race after 20 minutes to go, he usually comes in. But Newcastle's squad shaping up well ahead of the weekend, and Eddie Howe has a lot of selection dilemmas, or one selection dilemma in particular which one I put to Eddie Howe, the biggest one for me, and I think you probably share this opinion as well, that centre half is Malik Chow is an absolute shoe-in given the way he's performed, been unbelievable for Newcastle since coming into the team for Fabian Schär. But then obviously Sven Botman picks up a cut to the head against Fulham last weekend. Fabian Schär comes in, starts the game against Tottenham. Excellent. So who do you start alongside Marek Chow, Fabian Schär or Sven Botman? It's a very tough dilemma for Eddie Howe. He didn't really give much away on it, but he did admit that he'd have to upset at least someone. But that's part of being a manager. Where would you go with it? Who's your choice? Or who's your choice, and who do you think Eddie Howe will go with?
I suspect he probably would have went to the 5 at times if he'd had fullbacks. And he just hasn't got them at the minute, so it's impossible. I don't know. It's a really tough decision. I think it's one. He mentioned he was quick to move away from that one decision.
Yeah,
but he's got quite a few, because Lewis Hall comes back into the equation, Tino Livramento comes back in the equation. Then we're going to have a conversation about Dan Burn. There's some really. I don't think on ability that Burn is one of Newcastle's best 2 centre halves, but he brings so much. There was talking there about the fact he's basically he's one of the set piece specialists now with a long throw, and I don't mind being 6'7". He's the man launching it like rockets in for other people. In terms of leadership and size, and he brings so much to the game. How the hell did you take that out of the team? When, even though I would argue the other 3 are better footballers at centre half, I think the best 2 is probably, although Fabian Schär would have a big argument about it, probably is Botman and Chow. But Fabian Schär just comes back. I thought there was a little bit in his celebration. I thought it was like, remind everyone I'm here.
You're right.
Because I think he sort of gave a bit of that first before he did the.
He does his usual.
I think he gave a bit of that first. It was. I was like, I wonder if you've been hearing people saying Botman Chow, and you know what, that kind of thing's not a bad place to be. The thing that you can reflect on it negatively, but they've got a lot of games, and I never saw it with signing Chow. If you look at Botman and Chow being the centre halves, I was looking at it positive that look, Schär always picks up the odd injury. Botman's had plenty of injuries in his time. Dan Burn's been really robust. Very few injuries over his time, and Chow obviously we're yet to know, but there's a lot of games, and I never saw this centre half coming in and Botman get back to fitness as the end for Burn and Schär. I almost seen it as a rotational, like there's in there a very good partnership. They know how to play with each other. Can you form the other partnership, and then what you've essentially got is 2 that'll just, you can go somewhere in a midweek and just flip the 2, because it's a partnership position, isn't it?
Totally.
You learn what where somebody is next to your centre half is that, and I thought you could just interchange. You could take 2 out and put 2 in quite regularly. Injuries have meant I haven't really been able to do that, so I'm dancing around it. What would I do? I would
sit on the fence. You're allowed.
No, I'm not going to. I'll be brutally honest. I would stick with Fabian Schär. I thought it was.
Would you?
Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent on in midweek. I thought it gave Newcastle United a totally different passing range. You had 2. You had one really athletic, one who does play a lot of progressive passes. Sven Botman's a great passer of the ball, but he doesn't play the sort of line breaking passes that Fabian Schär does. He doesn't do it. It doesn't really. He'll spray a ball 40 yards across the pitch, but he doesn't play out those zipping passes or ones over the top. He very rarely does it. So I think Fabian Schär gives you totally different options, and I think, like I mentioned in the video midweek, he's becoming more and more physical as he gets older. He's good in the air. He wins things. I think he's great, mate. I think you go down. You look at he's got about 20 odd goals for Newcastle now. He'll go down as one of the best centre halves football clubs ever had.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, people get fixated on transfer fees, but that transfer fee for Fabian Schär, unbelievable. £3 million for a bloke that's been here 7 years now.
Yeah,
it's probably behind Bruno. Played the most games under Eddie Howe. He's been an incredible player. I think when he first came when Eddie Howe first came to the football club, Steve Bruce didn't even put him in the team. He was out the team. Yeah. So he's been an incredible player.
Oh no, but Steve Bruce, he told them who was going to be the next manager. How they were going to win the next game. Who was going to be the next. He's doing his media rounds now, and honestly, it's cringe.
Every time he comes out of a job, it's always that same story. I've seen it told on about 6 podcasts. Well, the man Dan Murad came in and I said, I'm the only negative here, you're going to get rid of us. And I told him about Eddie Howe, and I told him about Steven Gerrard.
Very kind Steve Bruce. What he decided to do was he says, I'll not take me money. I'll help you. I'm the nice bloke. Get out of it, man. What an idiot. Hey, honestly, I'm sick of hearing him.
Nah, he's
talks crap.
Yeah, you'll be on TalkSport for a while now, because Martin O'Neill's went back into the dugout at Celtic. So it was Martin O'Neill's seat wasn't even cold.
Yeah.
When Steve Bruce stepped in on TalkSport this week, so we'll see a lot more of him. But yeah, same stories from Steve.
He's
Bruce.
a good talker. Don't get us wrong, but honestly, that all this basically trying to place himself into history when he was trying to be written out of it. Like everyone was trying to write him out of history, rightly so. He's decided, no, I'm gonna be the man. I'm gonna tell everybody I'm the man who shaped the future. Get lost, man.
Who do you think Steve Bruce would have played centre half this weekend if he's Newcastle United manager?
Not Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär would have about 8 goals for Newcastle United in probably 40 games. Honestly, he could, and that just shows that's a measure of the man. He was a centre half himself of some repute. Incredible, really, that he couldn't see another centre half how good he was, and couldn't think I can shape that. Wasn't about the coaching, was it though?
No.
Didn't like all that stuff.
No. Like these holders. Anyway, take down of the former Newcastle United manager here.
Yeah. Gone off on a tangent.
Yeah. Shall we go to an ad break?
Yeah, we can. And we can talk a little bit more about the selection dilemmas and things like that, and the rest of the press conference after this. All the details of the Geordie Journo sponsors are down below.
Comply IT Limited. Worrying about disposing of your old IT equipment? Don't be. Comply IT handle everything. Secure collection, detailed tracking, and certified data destruction. That's Comply IT Limited. Four Rivers Financial Planning offer holistic financial advice for all stages of life, ensuring your plan remains robust and adaptable in the ever-changing world we live in. For 21 years, JLM Travel have been offering great deals on package holidays and cruises, plus low deposits and free kids places are available. Branches at Maingate Team Valley and Front Street Wickham. RJ Building Surveyors is a trusted RICS accredited family-run firm with over 15 years of experience specialising in residential surveys and valuations. Based in Yorkshire, their expert services extend nationwide. Whether buying, selling or seeking peace of mind about your home, they've got you covered.
Right, that was your Geordie Journo sponsors. If you do want to get involved with the Geordie Journos and become a partner on the channel, you've got to get in touch with
geordiejournos@gmail.com.
Yeah, it was nice. Easy to remember, but it just doesn't stick for me.
It was nice for Dom to turn up and do the adverts. He's just in the car there. He's just drove off.
He is.
Just came in for the adverts.
Commitment in it.
Yeah.
He was meant to be away.
I know. He just came down for the ad breaks.
He's got a lovely voice.
Oh, very adverty voice.
Yeah, there's a lot of intonation in it. Don't be.
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah, every time it's us two together, we can't resist the don't be. It's class, man. Class.
Hey, right. Callum Wilson, he was talking a bit about that one. That was a random one.
Yeah, before.
Well, obviously he's playing at West Ham now, but...
Yeah, no, before we talk about a couple of other selection dilemmas Eddie Howe may have. Yeah, Callum Wilson coming up against his former club, spoke glowingly about Callum Wilson. Eddie Howe said he loves him. Would he have kept Callum Wilson if he knew that Newcastle were going to go into the season?
Yes. Wilson wanted to go though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He wanted a fresh challenge.
Wanted to go and play games.
Yeah. You could tell. I mean, it was after that game on the final day of the season against Everton, and he was doing the wave bye, and I asked Eddie Howe afterwards, is that Callum Wilson saying goodbye? No, we're still in talks, but I think that was Callum Wilson in his own head making up his mind to say, look, I've done the business here. I'm going to go somewhere and play games, and hasn't quite played games at West Ham. It's been a bit of a tough start for him. 1 goal.
Hasn't helped.
Came off the bench against Leeds last week, but the week before, I can't remember, West Ham were playing, but he didn't get off the bench, so it's been a tough start, and I do wonder if he'll get the nod tomorrow. If Nuno thinks like some people and say, he's playing against his former club, he'd love to score against them, because I'm sure there'll be lots of Newcastle fans thinking, and they see Callum Wilson's name on the team sheet and say, well, now it's going to happen here, don't we? Just hope it's a consolation goal.
I'd also think the centre halves who've been playing against him in training for a long time, they'll know how to deal with him. I'd imagine. I'm not. It wouldn't bring that reaction in me if I seen Callum Wilson's name on the team sheet.
No.
Callum Wilson of 3 years ago, yes. Not Callum Wilson, the one we've seen. I do think there's still a player in there, and I think it's a shame he's not went somewhere, because all he needed was to go somewhere and be trusted to get a run of games. I think he would have chipped in more goals than what he has. It's a shame, because I think he'd earned that, and he's just probably picked the wrong place. He's picked the wrong club, I think.
Yeah, they're on not tempting fate the weekend, but they're on a major decline, West Ham.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been on like a steady decline for a while, since probably David Moyes left, but it's all sort of imploded this season, hasn't it? With Graham Potter being sacked, Nuno came in, looked like that a bounce at Everton, and they got a really good point at Everton, but from then on really have looked a really, really poor side.
Very poor. I quite like them as a club as well. I think it's
oh yeah, it's like it's a proper football club in terms of like your English heritage football clubs. They're definitely up there.
Yeah,
a lot of history behind them, but I think Newcastle have got to go there and win on Sunday. There's no excuses in my opinion. I think they've done well in the cups this season. They've got a big win against Fulham last weekend. They've got to go and follow that up. If they continue to go on sort of patchy forms in the league, they're just going to end up where they are.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there. I mean, again, looking at the table, it's like Newcastle have dropped a couple of more points. It's like there is a gap already, and it's like how far do you have to go before you start rising? You don't want to drop too far.
No, they've had to go on a really good run just to catch up, and
did that last year.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they need, forgetting the Champions League game in the middle. Again, that's of least significance in the next week. The two key games is I think you've got to go and get 4 points. You've got to get 4 points from these two games, however you do it.
Yeah.
I think winning at West Ham and then not getting beat at Brentford would be the way to do it. I wouldn't be complaining if they'd come out with that. Do I think they'll do that? I don't think their form suggested that, especially not away from home. That was the only goal, wasn't it? That Baltimore flick.
Well, I haven't won in the Premier League away since April. Eddie Howe sort of recognised that a poor away form with the half. I mean, they've barely created a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they barely created a thing at St James's Park until recently.
It was slightly better. I think there has. I know everyone's reaching for stuff, but I think there has, even though the performances haven't been complete and great, I think there has been green shoots there. I thought there was parts of the performance at Brighton there was green shoots. I thought that they looked like they could create, like it was in them. And again, I thought
when Murphy came on.
Yeah, and then Tottenham again.
Tottenham was the best performance of
the season. Prior to that, even the Fulham game, although in parts was absolutely turgid at times, but there was periods where we talked about it. They looked like they could create chances. Yeah. So I think there is little green shoots, but they need more. They do need more. I think the manager accepted that in that press conference. And I think we will see more. I think they'll win on Sunday. And like I say, I'm with you. I don't think there's any excuses not to. I think they have to. I think it would be a disastrous result if they didn't actually. Look, people look at West Ham. I don't think West Ham, I think something like since February they haven't won a home game.
Newcastle have won there more recently than West Ham have. That's a ridiculous stat. They must know that again. They must be winners. So
people say stats have got to end and stuff like that, but realistically it's just 11 blokes against 11. And Newcastle have got a better 11, and even though they're not in their best form, in better form.
Yeah.
So I don't see any reason why Newcastle shouldn't go there and cause them a whole host of problems. Apart from Jarrod Bowen, flashes of Somerville, although I think he's great. I don't see anything massively to fear in West Ham's team. Like most teams will do, go in there. If you keep Bowen quiet, he's their main goal threat.
Yeah.
Paqueta can drift in and out of games. Is he available? Yeah, I think he is, isn't he?
He always does alright against Newcastle.
He always does alright against us.
Bruno,
so he's another one. Yeah, almost raises his game.
Yeah.
But they're shambolic in the centre mid and shambolic at the back. Unless they make lots of changes, from what I've seen of their recent games, Newcastle should run straight through them.
Yeah.
They genuinely should. But it might not happen like that. We've had some decent times down there in the time we've been travelling together.
I've only seen them lose. I don't think they have lost actually.
I'm not sure they have.
No, there was a draw in there when it felt like a loss because Isaac, who scored twice down there for 2-1.
Yeah.
And it was Kudus equalised sort of last minute. So that felt like a defeat, but it wasn't. There was a Joe Willock equaliser down there, 5-1 or 5-0. It was down there as well. So no, you're right. They've had some really good times. 1-0, big win was there back in March.
That.
Yeah, I know the week before the Carabao Cup final, you had like Bruno and Joelinton sort of gearing up the crowd afterwards because it was, I don't know, I can't remember the exact phrase you described the words after. I described the game on your live after, but it was pretty abject of what you called it. It
was grim.
Yeah, it was a bad game, but it was a huge result.
But it was the result.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about in the video after. We were worried. The team wasn't playing well going into that cup final, and was Bruno, because he celebrated and he really G'd the fans up. Anybody who's there will know. Mm-hmm. It felt like going into a cup final. And my worry was, is he taking the rest of the players with him, or is he? Because we didn't know about his captaincy and things like that then. We do know a lot more now. But it's like, are the players with him? Are they going with him? Because it didn't look like a team that was playing well.
Yeah.
Wow. what a performance in that final. I've been arguing with loads of, interesting because he was with Joelinton that day, I've been arguing with loads of people online about Joelinton this week.
Yeah, I actually had that down as a potential question.
Did you?
Because I'd seen a lot of the criticism from opposition fans
pathetic, man.
Wishing bad things upon Joelinton, calling him names like a thug, the dirtiest player in the league. I think that's a really unfair reflection of him. I think he's physical and he can sometimes throw his legs about a bit and stuff, but I've never seen him intentionally go into. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just physical.
Yeah.
Someone beats him, you can see the determination on his face to win the ball back, and something he takes a man with him. I think it's been a real pile on this week on social media.
But it's the social media generation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They don't watch football. They just watch what other people say about footballers, and that becomes their opinion.
That would have been clipped up by one account, and then loads of other accounts would have followed about it was a tackle on Kudus.
Yeah.
Tackle on Kudus.
You hold the still of that, it looks awful.
Yeah.
We watched it live in person.
Exactly.
It was a really cynical challenge. Was not malicious. Was not meant to hurt the man. It just brought him down and was really awkward in the only other way. If you watch Joelinton all the time, you know he can do that. He's like awkward with his feet and his legs. And I just think it's social media clamour for like likes and opinions. There's so many people talk crap. People like look at this and go, "You talk crap." Well, that's fine. I'm all right. I'm all right with that. But there is so many people talk crap online about stuff. And they just formulate these really generic opinions about a footballer, a football club. It's like, oh, the Arsenal bottlers, and like, it's just watch the game of football like a normal person who watches football and formulate your own opinion. Be original. Don't just copy off everybody else. And I watch Joelinton all the time. So do you. And he's not a nasty player. That's the top and bottom of it. He plays on the edge. He puts himself about a bit. He's an awkward bugger. But like, he's not a nasty. I don't think he ever goes out to injure somebody. I just don't think that's in his genetic makeup.
No, I think we've had the pleasure of meeting him a few times as well, and he's a really sort of down to earth bloke. So no, I feel sorry when you the pile on. It's just a certain account. Everyone piles on him, and there was a lot of it after the game.
Loads.
Yeah, I seen your tweet.
I put my tweet out, right? Turn the air blue a little bit.
Yeah. I was going to ask Eddie Howe about that, but I'd prioritise selection.
Yeah, your questions were good, I thought.
Yeah, Malik Chow as well, which talking about the process of signing him.
Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, might as well. They tried to sign him a few times by the sounds of it before they actually got the deal done.
I thought he was quite open on that.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I didn't realise I'd chased him for so long, although there was sort of whispers in when I went to Japan a couple of years ago that they're interested. I remember asking about Malik Chow, Eddie Howe at the time. Well, then the pursuit went on to sort of Marquee and all the things around that. But yeah, a long pursuit that ended in delight, as I think Eddie Howe put it. I mean, his impact in these opening months of being a Newcastle player is quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
We're talking about like Nick Baltimore that's surpassing expectations. He's another one as well, Malik Chow, in the team, and probably won't come out unless he physically doesn't feel ready to start again, or there's an injury.
Yeah.
He's played with two centre halves, played with Botman, played with Scurr, and just looked absolutely flawless each time.
Do you know what? It's funny because when you talk the first half of the show and we talk about those selection dilemmas, the one that was not even in question was the new centre half.
It was Malik Chow.
Malik Chow. Like it's like he makes everybody else around him look better because he's added. Like I do wonder sometimes. It's like, we're not seeing something here. Is there something we haven't noticed because Germany don't pick him, and AC Milan.
We're happy to take the money.
Yeah, because they were happy to take the money earlier in the summer, and then from another club, and then they were happy again when Newcastle came along. It does make you wonder: is there something we're not seeing, or flip that round? Maybe we're seeing it all, but this is, as you've mentioned, this is an argument you give to me. Is it not the perfect player for the perfect league and the perfect team? Newcastle were crying out for. They had quite an ageing backline, quite good football and backline. Big, all that kind of thing. What they probably lacked was that athleticism. A player with legs, a player able to get up and down. He gives all of that.
Yeah.
So you're not just implanting the bit that you didn't have straight into that back four, and he looks like a world beater because of it, because he complements all of those around him. And I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay him. We're having a conversation about Fabian Scurr. Like I say, will go down as one of the best centre halves this football club's had. And Sven Botman, who would hope he can reach those kind of levels, but is a top class operator. And we're talking about taking one of them two out, and Malik Chow doesn't even get in the conversation because he's just in.
Yeah.
That's the biggest compliment I can pay to him.
Right, so to round off then, I think to try and round up the selection dilemmas, predicted team, not your predicted team, sorry, the team you would pick against West Ham.
Team I would pick. So I mean, you can talk as much as you want about the Ramsdale Pope debate, but it isn't a debate in Eddie Howe's eyes at the moment. So it's Nick Pope.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
Trippier plays, Burn plays, Chow plays, and I'd play Scurr.
Yeah. I'd do Botman for.
Would you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I just think didn't deserve to.
No, he didn't.
He only came out the team by force.
He doesn't deserve not to be in the team.
But I agree from what I've seen of Fabian Scurr, it's he was excellent in midweek, but I just think Botman deserves, because he didn't deserve to come out in the first place. He should go back in. But it's a really hard one. I know that's how. It's a really hard one. It's a really hard one.
Right. So we disagreed on one in the back line. So the midfield three for me. I don't know. What would you pick? I'm not sure.
I'd probably go back to the...
Bruno's in. Tonali's in.
I'd probably go back to the three that he's picked for the last 12 months. The first choice free, although he didn't say that in his press conference and he's asked about it. Bruno, Tonali.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will as well, because Joelinton came into that game.
Yeah.
So I think he'll go with the three. Depending on Tonali's fitness, I suppose. Because he still didn't sound 100%. I thought when he did his interviews after the game.
Yeah, Eddie Howe said that he was 100% in midweek,
right?
But then tired towards the end. But Tonali recovers quite quickly, doesn't he?
He does.
From the games he plays, he goes to Italy and they just flog him anyway. So
honestly,
yeah, he stays in.
Missing one of those games, couldn't he? But he's not going to want to do that.
No.
Yeah, so I think we're in agreement there. The three midfielders, forward line. Did either of the two that started at the weekend do anything that in the midweek displace the other two? Not in my opinion.
I think, if you look at the Premier League season alone, I don't think you can really separate Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon.
No.
But just for the feel you get as a player and watching a player, and it's like the eye test, I like watching Anthony Gordon more than I do Harvey Barnes. That's not a criticism of Harvey Barnes, because Harvey Barnes, I would argue, is a better finisher than Anthony Gordon. But I just think Anthony Gordon, if he's on it and if he turns up and shows the Champions League, Anthony Gordon, as the tripod goes.
The wins quarter, wasn't it?
If Anthony Gordon shows the Champions League, Anthony Gordon, then that's why he gets a start for me. And hopefully that comes sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. I think the front three picks itself. Murphy's transformed the creation in the team.
Yeah.
So he plays. So I think we're kind of in agreement. It's only Scurr and Botman.
Only Scurr and Botman, yeah, which is the biggest dilemma, which is why I said Eddie Howe about it.
Yeah. Right, that was your Geordie Journos. We will be, next from us, will be West Ham on Sunday.
Yes, early start Sunday morning.
It is, yeah, long day, up and down in the day on the car, but there'll be plenty of you guys out there doing exactly the same, or wishing you were too. Right, we will see you on Sunday. Thanks for all your support. Like, comment, share, subscribe for all your Geordie Journos content. Click the bell if you need to. Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching this from the Geordie Journos.